Hello people. I'm not in the mood for this, but we have to go live because it's another shit show. But there's plenty of ironies here because Liverpool for the first half I thought were quite decent, and then that happened. We've seen it before over the last 4 or 5 weeks. That happened. Yeah, I repeat, that happened. The fear, the panic, the nerves, the crowd. And then we concede. Control. And the other irony is it's all about control. The second half against Arsenal, it was about control. We got the result. But when you get a result like this, 1-1 against Burnley, who are shite, then control goes out the window. It's all about results. And because the brand of football that you're playing right at the moment, even though it was slightly better today, was all about results. And when you don't get the results, this is why emergency streams happen. And here we are. There's I'm sorry we're late. I got stuck in traffic. Cheen, I'm gonna come to you. You already did. I saw you on the way here. Back home, you were live with Ben. It was a decent performance, I thought, first half. We'll come to what exactly happened, but just give me your general thoughts about today because it's just simply not good enough.
It's not been good enough all season, Asim. That's the honest truth. Let's not just talk about today. It's just been shit all season. We've just not been good enough. From the first game to this game, maybe you had a couple of games in there that you think, you know what? Yeah, this team might played well. Fair enough, hopefully something will happen. Nothing's happened. Nothing clicked this season at all. From the players to the manager to the board. And we're sat here right now. I sat here 2 months ago. I remember it. It was in November. And I said to everybody, I said, listen, talk to me in January. I said, talk to me in January. When January comes, when our tough fixtures come after the Arsenal game, we will talk. You know what? It didn't even take after the Arsenal game. 4 games we've played this in 2006, 2026. Haven't won any of them. Against 3 of them games were banker wins. We didn't win any of them. 4 games, 4 points from possible 12. Liverpool are in a crisis, and you can sugarcoat it as much as you want. It's a fucking crisis. I'm sick to death of this football club right now, Sim. I really am, because I've been calling out, let's get something. Something happens. Today's game, I explained to you, obviously, you and Ben off camera, that, you know what, I didn't have the best of days. Obviously, I got out. My little son got injured in his game of football in the morning. I had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Then I watched Man United literally dismantle Man City. And when they dismantled Man City, I thought, you know what, I had a bad feeling. 45 minutes in, Liverpool were playing decent football, created a few chances, should have. Fuck's sake. What's going on here with this thingy, man? I don't get it. Can you look and hear me?
This is all part of your. This is all. Yeah, we can hear you, mate. Yeah, this is all part of your perfect day, Cheen.
We can hear you, but we can't see you. You've frozen, just like Liverpool.
Yeah.
Just keep talking, Cheen. Don't worry about the.
Just keep talking, and then when I go over to Ben, then you can say out.
And honestly, Asim, I'm just fucking sick to death of this football team right now. I've had enough. I'm sick of everything. I sat here saying, come and talk to me in January. We're sat here in January and this team is effed. I'm telling you right now. And guess what? The harder fixtures are just about to start. We haven't even started the hard fixtures. And they're about to start. And you think we're going to be sat here and this team's going to crack on and do really, really well? My ass. I'm telling you, I've had enough. Asim, look. This manager, I'm being honest with you, and people can say I'm going for the manager, the team was playing well, all that sort of shit. I know what's going to happen today. People are going to say to me, Cheen, the team played really well for 45 minutes. I don't give a shit about 45 minutes. I want 90 minutes, and I want a result. This is fucking Burnley.
Cheen, I'm going to have to stop you. I'm going to have to stop you. Sort your video out. Can you hear me?
He's gone on mute.
Okay, let him sort his video out. Ben, you're telling me for the last 4 or 5 weeks that he's missing a lot of personnel. You're backing him because there's no options. But I thought that the performance, I've mentioned it already once before, I thought the performance was decent today, especially the first half. I thought Kirk's probably had his best game in a red shirt. I'll come to him later on. Florian Wirtz was coming up and appeared in the pockets, and he was integral to Liverpool's play. But the problem is when you keep it, I think we were shit at 1-0, and we've been shit at, many, many score lines, but we always give the opposition, even as shit as Burnley, because they were shite. They were shite. But we always give teams, whether it's Burnley or Barnsley, the encouragement. And when you give Premier League teams, as shit as they are, encouragement for 5-10 minutes, and it was coming. It was coming, Ben. Like Alisson, every game it seems to be, he's been saving us over the years, but lately, every single time, his distribution is shite. And there was a panic amongst the back line. Kanate had a bozo moment, just not for the first time. And he thought, you know what? Here we go again. And after a few minutes, that happened. And you don't even have to try hard to score against Liverpool. And it's just a feature of this season where we control games and then just we concede nothing. But I'll come back to Cheen, but give me your overall thoughts about today and what it means going forward.
Yeah, no, I feel like I need to give Cheen the stage back because he was in full flight there. So,
okay,
Cheen, please finish what you were trying to say there because it's very important.
Look, guys, I sat here in November, Asim, and I told everybody, you know what? Come and talk to me in January. January came, we played 4, we've drawn 4. 4 points out of a possible 12. This team, manager, the board, right now, are effed in the head. And it's as simple as that. People are going to come to me and say, Cheen, we played really well for 45 minutes. I don't give a shit about 45 minutes. That's fuck off, man. It's pissing me off, this son of a gun camera, man.
What's happened?
I don't know. It just goes off.
Don't try and join on your phone, maybe.
I'll ring you. I'll come back somehow, man.
Okay. Okay. Ben, go for it, mate.
Asim, I had the pleasure of going to the game today. I say pleasure. It was a pleasure before the game, and for the first, I'd say about 40 minutes of the game. But after that, it went downhill, to say the least. And I did record a post-match reaction as well, which is still to go on what's called on the chat, and it will do, I'm sure, at some point. But yeah, really, really frustrating. And I think everybody knows where I stand with the manager and has done for the last X number of months. I think the season has been awful from start to finish. It's been really frustrating, to say the least. But today, with my own eyes, in witness to everybody in the ground, I'm done. I'm done with them.
What?
Yeah, I'm done with them. I've
done with the players. Done with the manager.
Yeah, I'm done with the manager. Yeah. Wow, no, it's time. It is time. It is time. And I say that with a real heavy heart. And some of the people in the chat who are just giving the abuse that they're given about the manager and stuff, I think everyone needs to have a big long look at themselves, because I've got no sort of happiness or joy. I've got no one here. I don't want anyone saying, "Oh, I told you so." You realise there's such a thing. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a good coach, but I just don't think he's anywhere near the level that we need. And in this current scenario, in this current situation where we need, a leader of men, we need somebody to inject energy into the ground. We need someone to reinvigorate the club, because I think from what happened in the summer with Jota right the way through to the transfer window and the decisions that were made, it's been pretty much a snowball of events that's led us to the point where he's gone one extreme to the other extreme, and now we're in a situation where the football at the moment, it's painful to watch, really painful to watch, and really frustrating to watch, to be honest. And I still think they will get results. You know, if Slot stays, they will get results. They will win games, and they will draw games, and they will lose games. But the reality is, we need to really have some identity back and a vision back. And I'm almost at the point now where I feel like my big worry with sacking the manager was, do we bring an interim manager in there, and do we start to go down the road of a Manchester United where we just look a bit of a laughingstock, where we're bringing in, you know, manager for 12 months and then sack him again, and then another manager for 18 months and sack him again. I don't want to go down that road. I think we're a better club than that, and we're a better run club than that, generally speaking. And I still think there's a very good chance that they don't sack the manager, but I have changed now.
What's made you change today? Is it just going onto Anfield and seeing them boo at 90 minutes? Is it seeing that brand of football today? Is it seeing the nervousness of the team, the panic that's not creeped in, but has become a mainstay, a part of the team over the last 4 or 5 weeks? What's made you change? And or is it just like Xabi Alonso is now available and we can't miss out on him?
No, I don't think it's anything to do with which managers are now available. I think personally it's a mentality thing, and you know, it takes a special person to be a successful Liverpool manager. Now, Slot delivered a title last season, and I won't have anyone say that he didn't play a huge role in that, and that's why it's such a heavy heart to say that. We need to shake hands with him and go in a different direction. But the reality is that there's no energy, there's no passion, there's no connection between the manager and the club and the fans. There's no the fans. I'm sure you noticed that, Asim, you're in the ground as well. In the last 20 minutes of the game, when we were trying to push, the fans were trying their hardest to get behind the players, and the songs were coming and the chants were coming and stuff, but it was too little, too late. And it feels as though we just need a real injection of energy, but we also need somebody who can adjust and adapt to different situations. Like today, that low block that's in place by Burnley, it's like we're just recycling the ball, and it's too slow, it's too passive, it's too sort of negative in general, and it needs a lot more oomph about it. And I just don't think that Arne, unfortunately, has got that in the locker. And I think, you know, you could limp to the end of the season, but I'm almost at the point now. It's like, well, if we do limp to the end of the season and we get top 4, but then what's the play then? Do we go and buy more players and then we give this manager another 12 months? I feel as though if the manager who they really, really want, who they think is a real generational manager and a hugely talented manager in Alonso, is available, then I would try and get him as soon as humanly possible. And I think we have to be all honest with ourselves. That also means there's a possibility that we might miss out on top 4 with the upheaval of changing manager. But I'm almost at the point where I think I would take that. I think I would take that now, because I almost feel as though you give Xabi Alonso or whoever it is chance to be able to embed this situation, because without going too far down the road, come the summer, you've got the World Cup, all the players go straight off to the World Cup, then you've got a really short pre-season, you've got a really short window to be able to sign players. So I almost feel as though if you don't want to have next season as a bit of a transitional season and a going through the motions and adjusting season, you want to really challenge, then you need to give a new manager maybe 2 or 3 months at the end of this season to be able to start to embed his own plans. And I just think that the club is crying out for a fresh start.
Ben, you come out with a bomber. Cheen, I don't know, whilst you were sorting your internet out, Ben has gone flat out. It's a Ben bomber tonight, not a transfer bomber, but a big bomber. But Ben, I want to press you on it because it's a shock to me. Only a few weeks ago, you said that nobody can do a better job.
Yeah, no, and I don't think there's nobody that can do a better job.
So what you were saying is, look, the manager needs help. You know, he doesn't have centre backs, he doesn't have wingers. Salah has gone for a planned getaway at the AFCON. Isak's injured. There's so many deficiencies across the team that even if a Xabi Alonso, Luis Enrique comes in, that he can't reignite this team because it's so depleted with proper world-class, but not even world-class players, good players, and on the bench as well, with seriously lacking depth. But Look, I
think
you.
reality is, I think the reality is, if this manager is given 2 elite players in every position and virtually none of them get injured, I think he probably would challenge for another title. But I think the football would be still conservative at best. You know, you might have a few good games, but generally speaking, it would be slow and it would be ponderous and it wouldn't be entertaining in general. It would maybe get results and it would maybe do what we needed to do in terms of a general challenge. But I just feel as though there's a lot of people who have almost like seen enough now, regardless of the results. Yeah. Like we're 12 games unbeaten. I know we drew a few games in there, but it's the most anticlimactic, depressing 12 games unbeaten that I've ever sort of witnessed. And I almost feel as though even if we were to win games at the moment, people are like, if we'd have won that game today 2-1, people would have been saying, you know what, we were lucky, or we didn't really deserve it, or it was still slow, it was still industrious, you know what, it's still not going in the right direction, etc., etc. So I almost feel as though we just need to change now. We need a fresh start, and I think I think each week there's another percentage of the fan base that are sort of coming to the conclusion that for everybody's sake, maybe a fresh start is the right way to go.
And you have to draw the line somewhere, don't you? You have to draw the line somewhere. Just to your point about the Anfield crowd, and a few people are asking, I haven't been, obviously for obvious reasons, to Anfield or many games this season, but even in the first half when we were playing well, I was shocked. Thought, wow, because
it's a huge disconnect, isn't it?
It was a huge disconnect, and the moment our players were given a bit of space, whether we won a loose ball in the midfield or it was a transition, and they were driving into space, the crowd got up. They were urging the players to play at a fast tempo. They can somehow accept, even though there's a lot of fans saying, look, it's too side to side, but sometimes against low blocks, you have to shift them side to side and wait for the right moment to play that switch, and then you create separation and play that ball, whether it comes from a midfielder, and most likely Curtis connecting with Ekitike and Wirtz, or if it's Van Dijk playing a quick ball out to Gakpo, and Gakpo, who in theory should be running and beating the right back, who doesn't matter who it is on most occasions, but obviously we know he doesn't do that. But you have to shift a low block side to side and look for the space. But for me, in counter-attacking transitions, is the crowd are up and they were urging, especially there was one really big moment for me in Szoboszlai where the Kop especially were up and wanted him to just drive into space. But the thing is, Liverpool players now have been so coached not to do it. So they're second guessing themselves. You can feel the nervousness and the indecision, even by being in the stands. Honestly, is so evident.
I wonder if that moment was the same moment as what I'm thinking is when I was on the verge of saying like enough's enough. It was when Szoboszlai had the ball and he had that space to drive into midfield. Yeah. Is that when Slot clapped him when he changed?
100%. I tweeted it and Klopp, and you could see.
I didn't even see that tweet. Sorry.
Yeah, I tweeted it because he gave him
like retention of the ball, protect the ball, and I think to myself, we're at home to Burnley. One of the worst teams ever to come to Anfield. It's like go. And it's like it almost feels a bit Hodgson at the moment. They're setting up to not get beat, and they're setting up to try to not lose rather than to try and win. And I can absolutely understand that when you're 9 games without a win, but it's gone, as you say, too far the other way now. And I think he's instilled so much fear and so much panic and so much lack of confidence in the team to protect his own job. No manager should be having to do that. And I just think, to be honest, you know what? Let's put everyone out of their misery and do something about it. But what we do about it is equally as important as just get rid, because everyone's saying get rid, slot out. You've got to have a plan, because it could go the other way as well. Because you could get someone in and have a couple of games where you have a bounce, and all of a sudden, if it's not right, then it might go to completely to pot.
Cheen, we love the players, but we don't love the team, and from that stems the disconnect between the fans and the manager. But obviously, you heard it on TV as well. The crowd were chanting "attack, attack, attack," and when that happens, it's only going one way, isn't it? It is only going one way.
Right at the end, that was.
To be fair to the Anfield crowd, they've been very supportive of Arne Slot during all this season. If I'm honest with you, it takes a lot for Liverpool fans generally to say, you know what, we've had enough. I'll be honest with you. When 2 months ago, when I went for it, I just couldn't see a change. I'll be straight. I just couldn't see what this manager could do, right? And even back then, I was saying wait till January. I thought, you know what, if he brings if a few come in, then maybe he's got a chance. But I couldn't see any change. And if we're honest, we didn't really see any change. Yes, we got results, but the football was fucking dire. It was diabolical, boring, you name it. And we're not used to this bullshit, where we've been used for the last 9 years, been used to flipping Jurgen Klopp. That's the football we're used to. We can't watch this bullshit football anymore. Them days are gone. We were past Hodgson days, man. I can't, think about anything like that because it fucking sends me to depression. And just now, when we've just got back to where we're supposed to be, we're back to fucking square one. And that's why I went for the manager then. I got shit at that time saying, why are you going so hard on the manager? But this is because I knew this was going to happen. I'm not trying to say I'm fucking some sort of tactical who knows the game better than Arne Slot or anything like that. But you could see, it's going to take a fucking brain surgeon to work out that the players that we've got, do we have players that are good enough to give us this? And, the amount of times in terms of attacks we've slowed down, man, it fucking doesn't make any sense. I saw that. I didn't see the clap of Arne Slot.
Yeah.
Obviously, I read your tweet. I know which moment you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because you heard the Anfield crowd.
Yeah. And Cheen, it wasn't the first time. It happened a good 4 or 5 times.
I know it. This is what I'm saying. But the sober one, I remember. But why would you clap that, man? You're just you're playing. Ben said, this is fucking Burnley away. Fucking Burnley at home, sorry. And number 2, yes, we were good for 45 minutes of that first half. But we were playing fucking Burnley away again. It's not exactly a big fucking team that you've turned up to Anfield and you've played unbelievably well. Yes, we created chances, but it's fucking Burnley. We're supposed to create chances. This is the norm. People are saying he wants to be controlled. I see no control. This team can't control shit. The goal that they scored, look at that goal, yaar. What control are you talking about? You don't have the players that can control a football game right now. And look, for me, it's not just about this game. Look, I'll be honest with you, Asim. For me, it's not just about this game. For me, it's a fucking season. I look at this team, what we've done. Jack shit. We've had 3 or 4 good games out of a possible fucking 28, 29 with whatever games that we've played this season, yeah? And this team isn't good enough. The writing's on the wall. The truth is, the guy needs to go now. I can't wait till this end of the season anymore. I can't watch this. I would rather Alonso come in, do what he needs to do, and see what happens. Because right now, this guy is getting a 7th. Mark my words, if Arne Slot, if this fucking board stick with him and he doesn't get to gives it to Anderson, we're finishing 6th or 7th. Guaranteed. Manchester United sacked their manager. I saw them play today, Asim. They fucking dismantled Man City. Played them off the park. They should have scored at least 5 goals. And City didn't even create a chance. Chelsea have just won a football game. These teams are going to come, and I said, they're going to get new manager bounces. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. They're going to
got back to Chelsea as well, and they still got the results.
And we're not getting no new manager bounce because we're not fucking getting rid of ours. We've got good players in this team. They're not.
Gee, do you think the hierarchy watching that game today? I don't know how many of them were sat in the corporate box or the boardroom. They were most certainly watching it on TV if they weren't there today. Like the crowd went against him today. He lost the crowd. Do you think that's a pivotal? Surely that's a pivotal moment.
Asim, this guy is a yes man. Richard Hughes. Yes, he lost the crowd, but they're not sacking him tomorrow. If you think they're going to sack him tomorrow, Pulijao. But one thing that I'll say that's slightly different now is the slot inners, from a week, a month ago, most of them have come out and said, you know what? Time's up. Time's up. Even Ben, who's been quite supportive of the manager, even though he went against the style of play, Ben was generally supportive of the manager, saying, you know what, we'll give him some support. Let's see what happens. Let's see where we get on. Ben's come on. Ben's quite one of them who he wants to give his players a chance. The Liverpool way, give him a chance. Let's see how this player fits in. If Ben is saying no, mate, that tells you are beginning to lose everything. And your next game.
We know what I would say about the Anfield crowd is, I think, and I know what you're going to say. They were supportive. They couldn't come out straight away, and this and that. This is maybe why I was surprised, because I thought this wasn't especially in the first half, this wasn't the performance to be restless. It wasn't the performance. For me, the writing was on the wall was against. Oh, obviously we had those Norwich, the performance against Norwich, the performance against PSV, where we looked absolutely ragged and lost by 3 goals on both occasions. 4 goals. If it was it 3-0 against Nottingham, whatever it was, we were shy.
Yeah.
But again, the writing for me, again, the brand of football, especially at Anfield, for me, was if you're going to leave Mohamed Salah, who hasn't gone to AFCON, and leave him on the bench against Sunderland, regardless of their form this season, and play Joe Gomez as effectively your right winger at Anfield, for me that day, the writing was on the wall that this manager has completely lost it, because on that day he went completely against his principles. But the thing is, from going from here to here in terms of your principles and completely neglecting for what you were good at and for what you were praised for last season, Cheen, is if you're going to just sit back and try to control it with a load of midfielders, then you have to have counter-attacking quality. I look at this Liverpool team, and the players are short of confidence, even though, we're told we're 12 games unbeaten, now 13 games unbeaten. But when I look at Liverpool trying to take it from their defensive box to their attacking box, it takes fucking ages. Because 1, we don't have a guy to carry the ball. 2, we don't have a guy who can pass the ball on a consistent basis. And 3, we don't have a guy who finish off the attack. And the guy who finished off the attacks, we left him on the bench. And then we said goodbye to him. We tried to get rid of him in January, Mohamed Salah. So even if you want to park a bus and control the game and show you've got some really good counter-attacking threats, we're pinning our hopes on Cody Gakpo. And out.
Asim, can I just say one thing, bro? Please, mate, I tell Jordan, get him out of the fucking football club. He's fucking dog shit, Ben. I'm sorry. I've had enough of him. He's shit. He's not good enough to play for Liverpool Football Club. Get him gone, man. He's not good enough. We're relying on Cody Gakpo in our 3, man. Get rid of him, bro. He's just not good enough.
He's a one-trick pony, and his one trick is not working.
I'm sick of him,
That's
man.
the problem.
I'm sick of him. He's shit.
Yeah.
Admit he's shit and get him fucking gone. And go sign somebody else. Because this guy is not Liverpool level. He's not Liverpool level, mate. He might have won us the title, and thank you very much. You won us the title. TK, fine. I don't know. Yeah, you deserve your credit for what you did last season. But you know what? You're not good enough, man. Get him out. I've had enough. Look, and the sad thing with me today, Asim, was I saw Florian Wirtz in the first half. I thought, you know what? Fucking hell, this guy's going to take the piss. Yeah, this guy's too good, man. And we fucking ruined the day for him.
Yeah.
Because, he was, now the games that he's playing, you're beginning to see a Florian Wirtz that we paid 100+ million for. The last 7 or 8 games that we've seen Florian Wirtz play, fucking hell, you felt happy thinking, you know what? Deep down, we knew, everybody knows he is going to come good. He's actually playing well. He's actually fucking playing well.
Some of my wonderful blue mates, when I said about Wirtz playing well today and obviously scored, and they were like, "Oh, well, it's only Burnley that he scored against, so he should be scoring against them." But in my eyes, that's exactly the reason why you have that sort of player, to break down a low block and to break down a really sort of difficult. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're playing against Arsenal or Burnley. It's still 3 points. It's still goals in the Premier League. And I'm telling you now, some of the stuff that you won't even see on Match of the Day for those people who weren't lucky enough to be at the game today, because regardless of the situation or regardless of the scenario, I feel as though every single time you're in the ground for a game, it's a privilege, because there's so many brilliant fans around the world who never get to go to the game. So it should always be a privilege. And what some of the stuff you watch today from Wirtz, he's on a different level sometimes.
When it comes to Florian Wirtz, and the guys, and there were plenty of people who didn't rate him amongst the Liverpool fan base. I think the majority of that bunch are the same people who didn't rate Gini Wijnaldum, who didn't rate even Thiago. And for me, in terms of skill set, he might have not had the career at Liverpool, but in terms of skill set in isolation, Thiago was one of the best players I've seen in a red shirt. But those people who just don't get it, who've never played the game at any level, they don't appreciate those things, how they create space, how they create separation, the little turns, the little drop of shimmies, the drop of the shoulders. And what Wirtz does, he makes every single player on that pitch look better. And there's no coincidence why Kerkez is looking better. I have never judged Milos Kerkez in a defensive sense, because when I saw him at Preston come in pre-season on for Robbo in the second half, I saw running power. Yes, he went on his ass a lot of the times, but that can be coached. The maturity and composure and stillness and discipline will come into his game over the years because he's so young. But when you play with Florian Wirtz, where Kerkez is that kind of player, is you don't give him the ball, but he's the movement around you. And which better player to have movement around is Florian Wirtz. And when he goes and he plays in that number 10 position where he has to create overloads on the right, he has to create overloads and comes deep from central positions, he's the perfect player for Kerkez. And going back to my point about him, I called him a Darwin Núñez because in possession, he was too rash. There's no composure, none at all. But today, for the first time this season, and this is the reason why I call his performance the best performance of Milos Kerkez in the red shirt, is because for a possession-based team like Liverpool, I'm going to judge him when we have 70% of the best ball. And the timing, the composure, the crossing ability, and overall play, his involvement as to what he's expected to do was a lot better. So, look, I've been very critical of him because I've seen a guy who's just too rash. But when he plays like that, you have to come out and say he's played really well. So big up to Kerkez. But like Cheen says, it's a shame because I thought the connection between Ekitike, Wirtz and Kerkez was one of the plus points today. But
it was
that. How many times have we seen it, Cheen? I don't know how it came across TV, but Cheen, the whole crowd could sense a goal coming.
Yeah. Asim, look, the Liverpool right now, Asim, Ben mentioned this team's at a crossroads and it's time to, say goodbye, wherever, and I'm time to move on. That's exactly where we're at. When it was 1-0 and we're at half-time, I knew they're going to score. I knew in the second half, I don't know what this manager tells this fucking team in his half-time in his half-time team talk. I don't know what he says because they come out completely different team. Why? Why can a team play so well in the first half, 45 minutes, come out and be completely a different team for 20 minutes? I don't understand that. I mean, it's happened so many times this season. So many times. Yeah. When Milos Kerkez, you were mentioning Milos Kerkez, the lad's having the best game of his Liverpool career. Why have you taken him off?
Because guess what? The manager's going to come out and say he's got cramp.
Off a foot off, yeah. He was fine. There was nothing wrong with Milos Kerkez today. He was running up and down. He was giving us the energy. He tried to, in the first half, he made his cross should have been better. We could have scored an open goal, Jones. But I thought that was one of his best games. Why take him off? I'm not having a go at Robbo's performance here, by the way. I'm just saying the guy's having the best game. Why are you taking him off? It made no sense.
To be fair, I do think that Robbo's decision making in the final third is still a little bit better than Kerkez.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He put in some really smart balls. I didn't really have a problem with that substitute. The one I did have a problem with was then he took Gravenberch off. I would have took Konate off because Konate was sat in so much space all the time. You can see it so much more when you're in the ground. They don't want to pass to him. Whether they've been instructed not to pass to Konate or whether the players don't trust Konate, but they literally don't use him unless they have to. And the only
he's the trigger, Ben. He's the trigger.
Yeah. And the only time that Konate is there to be able to play some sort of forward pass is they've coached him to play that inside channel ball into Ekitike.
Yeah.
And it's decent but they play it because it's a weighted pass. It's not to feet. It's just put the ball into that area and Ekitike might get onto it or he might not do. But apart from that, we haven't got any outlet at all. So Van Dijk's being forced to be the playmaker from the back, and it just doesn't work. He actually started the game with Gravenberch split between the two centre-halves, which I thought was quite interesting. But then in the second half, when we had all the ball and we were pressing again after the equaliser, he could have left Gravenberch at centre-half and we push right up, but he's petrified of getting done on the counter-attack. And it's like, the me, should we say, would say, well, we had 32 shots on goal. the XG was like 3.2 for us and 0.4 for Burnley. So statistically speaking, we should have won that game 3-0. But we
missed a penalty as well.
And we missed a penalty. So you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I think if that result had come in isolation, and that result has happened, and that performance has happened in the past, and we'd all walk out the ground and say, you know what? Sometimes that happens. That's just one of those days. But in the context of this run and this manager and these performances, it's shocking. It's terrible, and it's even worse because of the context of the situation. And I'm sorry, but fortune favors the brave, and we're just not brave at the moment. We're very, very, very risk averse, massively risk averse, to the point where we're just like, we don't want to risk trying to score again. We'll protect what we've got, and then you leave yourself open to. And you know what? We have been unlucky. Sunderland scored from their only real shot on goal. They scored today from their only real attack on goal. It happens, but then if you don't go for it and you don't try and get your second goal, or you don't really commit, then you leave yourself open to those sorts of situations happening. And the reality is, he's writing his own he's writing his own P45 at the moment. Because I'd rather him just say, you know what, if they're going to get rid of me in the summer, then let's just go out with a bang. Because
that's the problem. He's clinging on to, whether it's his brand of football. Because he knows long term, not even long term, semi-long term, the crowd will not, the Liverpool fan base, who are as champions, they won't accept this football. And it's taken, for me, it's taken too long. But the penny has dropped. The penny has dropped. The fans just naturally in the ground will take a bit longer. Let's be honest.
I also think it's probably taken longer than we expected, because the replacement has got to be right. And if the replacement is Xabi Alonso or Enrique, who's available in the summer, then they're just not going to. They're not going to pull a plug unless he was losing. So they've probably said to him, "Listen, we need to consolidate results. Can you just consolidate results?" And this is the way he's doing it.
And look, another thing that I mentioned, Asim, before, and I mentioned it on the show, I says, draw against Burnley, and what's the crowd? Because before the crowd were all right, because truth is, they were looking around thinking, who do we, if we get rid of him, who's going to come in? Now it's a different ball game, mate. There is a player, there's a manager that's available who we wanted as our number one first choice. And he's a Liverpool legend. He's played at the football club. We know who he is. Now it's a completely different ball game, mate. So that's why another reason why I say the crowd booed, because now there's a replacement there that if you carry on performing this shit, you're out of the door, mate. But look, I
think we're at the point as well, though. Now the majority of the fan base is at the point where even if we do get a win in a game, it's still a reluctant win, or it's still it's just delaying the inevitable win, and that sort of, so there's so much damage done, like so much reputational damage done. People have done with him full stop, regardless of the result. So if that's where we're at, then let's just make the change anyway, because Alonso could come in and possibly lose, 2 or 3 out of the next 10. But I don't think anyone will mind, because they'll get their mindset reset and thinking this is the direction of travel, and we've got to go with this manager. We've got to give him time to build, etc. And that's what's got to happen.
And another thing, Ben, I still believe, even with this squad, if Alonso was to come in, I think there will be a new manager bounce. The players will be slightly different. They got to start proving themselves again. And I think he will still get us a bigger chance of getting top 5. With this manager, I'm telling you, even more so after today, you're not getting top 5. I'm telling you right now, if we continue with this manager, we are not getting top 5.
But the point is, even if we did get top 5, then we're still back to the same scenario in the summer.
Exactly. So you might as well give Alonso 4 to 5 months extra.
Yeah, because of the chaos in the summer with the World Cup, he needs time. I think there's a very good chance.
You're 100% right there. You're 100% right. Give him an extra 4 or 5 months, and you know what? He will probably get. I think he'll give us. Look, I know Manchester United have only won one game. I know that, and I don't want to make it out like it's one game. Asim, it was a completely. You have to understand one thing. It's the best I've seen Manchester United play for fucking 18 months.
Wow.
That is no joke. I think they played well against Arsenal in the first game of the season, but this performance was 10 times better than that. And that's that is a new manager bounce. That is what it can happen. It will, and they will do well. Trust me, they will do well until the end of the season. They've only got 1 game a week. He will get them playing a lot better than Amarim did because they know their arse is on the line. Yeah, and if they start winning a few games, you'll see a different team, man. And I'm worried. I know it's 1 game. I'm worried that if we don't make the move, at least Alonso lifts the fucking club, man. We need lifting. The crowd need lifting. The players need lifting. Yeah. But one thing I have to say, and this is for fucking Hughes and Edwards, these fuckers have shattered over this manager as well. Not just on this fucking manager's made mistakes, but these fuckers have not helped him one bit. They're fucking cowards who couldn't come in front of the camera and let him deal with all the shit. That is wrong. That's wrong. And look, I might have my issues with Arne Slot, Asim. I might have my issues, but these fuckers think they've got away with it. Yeah, because they're sat in the background in their fucking suits, can do whatever they want, right? They gave us 1 fucking good window out of 4. That's what they've given us, 1 good window. And even that, they didn't give us everything. So let's not paint a picture that, you know what, these guys were fantastic. Yeah, we loved your window last year in the summer, but you had to do more in January. You've given us Jack Hall. You've given the manager Jack Hall. And don't come to me saying, oh, we didn't give him money because we were going to sack him. I don't buy that shit. We need 3 centre-backs, not 1. We need a winger, 3 centre-backs, a midfielder, a right winger. I don't buy this bullshit of this Hughes Edwards shit right now. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, they should have. That's a great point, Cheen. It's a great point because if
that's unfair what they did.
If they're labeling him as head coach and they're making the signings with his influence, but they're ultimately in charge of the signings, then it shouldn't really matter who the manager is. They should be bringing people in regardless, shouldn't they? So you can't have your cake and eat it.
I'm saying Ben. That is exactly the reason I'm saying it. They faffed us over of Mark Gay. They didn't pay the money for him, and now he's going to go to City. Yeah? Semenyo, we were told, look, me, fucking you and Asim did 25 shows on Semenyo, thinking he's going to come to Liverpool in January. He sat a month there. I'm not saying it. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that they should have given him the tools. 1st of January, we were sat here 2 months ago saying, on the 1st of January, we better see a centre-back at our football club. Yeah. They didn't give him it. That is on them. Them fuckers think that they can get a fucking roll of the dice. They can do whatever the fuck they want. No, they need to be called out because they've took the piss. They've literally took the piss this January, mate. And yes, they might give us Alonso to appease the fans. Yeah, and say, oh, here's Alonso now. Yeah, this isn't money. They're trying to do what fucking Man United did fucking for 10, 15 years. Oh, here's a manager. Here's a Pogba. Are you happy now? Here's this other player. Are you happy now? Go and spend Big Ben. Forget the structure of the team. There you go. I don't want to see that. I don't want to turn into fucking Man United.
No.
And honestly, I'm more fucking pissed off with them right now than I am with Arne Slot.
Should we do some supers? All calm down.
Let's do some supers. By the way, there's 930 of you in the building. Smash a like and subscribe to the channel because I can guarantee you there's plenty of new people in the building. Let's quickly get some through some supers because I want to talk to you guys about the goal. Glenn Gates, thank you so much for sending this through. Madrid's the only game we've been good. Worried. I'd put probably Aston Villa. Even though they did play into our hands. Maybe you could argue Real Madrid played into our hands as well. Question from Glenn Gates. Has Slot lost the dressing room? Yes or no, Cheen?
I don't think he's lost the dressing room, Asim, in a sense where they're not playing for him. I don't see that on the pitch. I just think they're just lost. I think
there was an interesting conversation between Curtis and the manager, at 1-1. I think there was a break.
Yeah, I saw that.
There was a very interesting, it was quite heated. It was quite heated. Yeah.
I missed it, I missed it.
And he was poor today, Jones.
Sorry?
He was poor today, Jones, I thought. He started really poorly. He lost the ball a couple of times and he looked like he was half asleep. But you're right. He wrestled his performance back a little bit. But in general, he was sort of like caught between 2 stools all game. And that conversation did take place, but I don't think he's lost the dressing room. If anything, I think they're doing what he's telling them to do, which is not what we want to see. It's supposed like the perfect example when he had all that space to drive into, and he puts his foot on the ball and turns back on it, and Slot gives him a round of applause. Flipping heck, I nearly fell out my seat.
But look, this is a deeper conversation, though, Ben. Like,
oh yeah, massively.
I think the crowd need to get the balance right. That yes, this brand of football is shite. But it was a lot worse against Sunderland, a lot worse against Leeds. That drove me mad. Today didn't drive me mad in most cases. Today can happen. But what I would say is this is a mounting, and the fans have been taking it in, and it's been mounting up, and they've just let out today, and rightly so. And that's a manager problem as well. What I would say is that I think it's an ongoing problem since last year. I think the fans, generally speaking, need to understand that we're never going to play the Jurgen Klopp type of football. So it's all about striking the balance, because we just don't simply have the players. Last season we could, and I've talked about it in length, that we could go with the likes of Trent. We had verticality, we had directness of play, we had a counter-attack in us. We had players who could finish off for a counter-attack. We just don't simply have the ball, the players in possession, and the ones that we did, we just put on the bench. And now he's in Africa, and God knows what he's going to do with him later on. And that's another discussion altogether. But out of possession, how many times we've talked about the intensity. So in and out of possession, you just can't play like a Jurgen Klopp team. But I think the fans are very knowledgeable, and they're very emotional. We're an emotional fan base, that if we see something and we'll support it, we might bite our tongue for a month or so. And that's what the crowd have done. They've bit their tongue for a month because they understood that, he needed to stabilize the team. But at what cost? At what cost? And that is the big problem. But fans need to realize is, even Xabi Alonso coming next year, guys, we're not going to see Jurgen Klopp type of football. So you need to get Jurgen Klopp out of your minds. You can leave him in your heart.
I totally agree. And this is that's a great point. And this is part of the bigger debate, that it almost feels like a delayed reaction to Jurgen leaving, in that we never had that reaction to Jurgen leaving, because we went and won the league the year after and everyone was euphoria. But the morning of Jurgen Klopp has almost started now in the last six months, because people are I see people put pictures in the Ultras group of Salah, Mane and Firmino. Oh, I miss that so much. I wish we had that. I'd give anything to go back to those days. And it's like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, because we haven't got Jurgen Klopp no more. But at the same time, we've gone the other end of the spectrum, and we've turned into a team of old age pensioners, where everything is in slow motion sort of thing. So it's hard to sort of suddenly be, electrified by the football that we're playing and be entertained to the level that we have, and then just flip back to this sort of controlled, conservative, reserved type football. And it doesn't suit the Anfield crowd at all. It may well, and ironically, it might well get us to a Champions League semi-final. It genuinely might get us to a Champions League semi-final, and that is a realistic possibility under this style, because it's very, very protective. Like that performance against Arsenal at the Emirates was really, really good. We've done the same against Inter Milan, but that doesn't win you league titles in this situation, where you've got to go and break teams down at home again. The bottom 10 teams, you've got to be able to adapt. And I think the problem with Slot is that, again, if he has all of the players that he wants at his disposal, we'll be fine. But you just rarely get that in this league. You rarely get that. And you need to have a dynamic and adaptive coach that can be able to adjust the situation and the system according to who we're playing against. And I think that's something that hopefully somebody like Alonso would be able to do.
Yeah. And there's a comment here is, sorry, I'm calling bullshit on that. Klopp instilled the type of football we want. Whether it's Klopp, Slot or Alonso, whoever it is, that's the football we want. Like, look, part of what's wrong at the moment, and what the manager is refusing to do, is to go all out on the press. Whenever we press the teams, even against Burnley today, is a half-hearted press. At times, Sober was jumping. At times, Curtis was jumping. At even times, Florian Wirtz. There's a really old fella next to me. Really nice guy. Gave me a sandwich at halftime as well to make me feel better. But even he saw, he goes, look at Florian, hands in the air, looking behind. Where's my teammates? If I jump, I want you to back me up. With this half-hearted press, it's not as a collective. And the problem is that's on the manager. What's not on the manager, and actually, you know what? Probably on the hierarchy as well, and to an extent on the manager, is if you're going to take all the intensity out, then you just need to make sure that you have to accept responsibility, that you've got Cody Gakpo when everyone's fit, and I know Ekitike's played well, Salah, Gakpo, and Isak was our starting top three, weren't they? If Isak got a preseason, that would be our thingy. And is that
and Wirtz behind?
And Wirtz behind. So you've taken
maybe even Wirtz on the left. Maybe even Wirtz on the left.
Yeah, 100%. But the PowerPoint presentations were about Wirtz playing the number 10 role. We all know that. So
yeah.
How are you expected to press in the Jurgen Klopp way with those 4 players? You can't. And this is the reason why I thought the manager just he completely disrespected the league for me, in my opinion, where he thought we're going to have the ball at 70% of the possession. We're going to let Florian Wirtz just roam around everywhere, a bit like today. But this is Burnley. You can't do that against Crystal Palace. You can't do that against Sunderland. You can't do it because there's too much quality in this league. But you have to earn the right, and Liverpool haven't earned the right this season, and that is a big, big problem. And so whether it's Klopp or Slot, Alonso, whoever it is, that's the football we want. We have to have the personnel to do it. So whether that's on the Slot or the hierarchy, I guess they all need to take the blame for that.
And with all due respect, Alonso isn't going to fucking play gegenpress football. Let's be honest out there. So the guys that want Alonso in, don't be thinking you're going to see gegenpress, because that's not happening.
It isn't. Yeah. It isn't.
Yeah. And the other thing, we're seeing why Slot's injury record is so good as well now, because they never exert themselves. They never push themselves to the limits. They were puffing and blowing in the second half there.
What? This is we've had loads of injuries. This is last season we hardly had any.
No, I know.
Right now we've got 3 long-term injuries.
I know.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And they're all scenario injuries. They're not hamstrings and groins and stuff for intensity injuries, are they? They're all like freak injuries, for want of a better word.
And one is a kid. Let's be honest. Yeah, we bought him for £35 million from Palmer, but he's a kid who we saw once. The other guy is a right back that is always injured and plays massively injury prone. Isak is probably the only guy. Actually, he had his own groin problems for Newcastle. But he's the real injury that is like not half expected. So who else is there? And Salah, we all knew about him going to AFCON. So, and that's the problem. And when you look at the Liverpool bench, think where's the game changes? So it's not just about the team; it's all about the depth as well. Wherever you look, there are problems for Liverpool. Wherever you look.
Yeah. And we have to all accept that, don't we? That in a weird sort of way, we've all made our piece on Slots, but in a weird sort of way, he was set up to fail to a certain degree this season, wasn't he? I know it's got worse as the season's gone on.
Are you slotting now?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. We know there needs to be a change, but he hasn't been helped. He hasn't been helped.
This is why, Ben, I fucking go for the owners and I go for the board. He hasn't been helped.
Yeah.
And we do the supers. I think there's quite a few.
Let's keep on doing the supers, man. Let's keep on doing the supers. Where am I? Am I on Lethan? Yeah. Lethan, big up. Thank you so much for sending this through. He says Salah to come back and save Slot's job. Imagine that. Muhammad Kibria, big up Muhammad. Hope you and family are good. He says time up for Slot. He's got my G Asim extra pumps. Big up Muhammad. Robbie Totten, thank you so much for sending this through. He says can get back into the chat as I'm timed out. What happened here? Time him out again so he can send another super chat. I don't know. I don't time out people. So if he wasn't timed out,
know how to.
So if you timed out, you can still send a super chat. There's 900 in the building. Time alone. What time alone?
It's temporary, isn't it? You get like a 15-minute cool down for being.
Maybe this will come late. Maybe this will come late.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe
one of the admins must have clocked you being naughty.
Yeah, you must have said something, mate.
I'm only joking,
Yeah,
Robbie.
carry on.
Welcome back, mate. Welcome back. Mohammed, again, Alonso in, Slot to Spurs. Ooh, it's a good shout. It is a good shout. Slot to Spurs. I think I just gone there. Thomas Frank, I think, is on the verge of the sack.
Really good shout, though.
Big up, lads. S-Yacht is in the house.
Easy to know the word, yeah. When will this? Edwards drop his ego and admit he was wrong?
Big up, lads. Manager. Big up, lads. When will this MF Edwards drop his ego and admit he was wrong about this manager, you could say his manager as well. Esjo, there we are. Ash, big up Ash. If Cody took the pen, he would cut it.
That's genius.
Do like a Thierry Henry and Perez moment, yeah.
Perez, yeah. My word.
We're upset today, man.
That
But that's made us laugh.
Brilliant.
Jono, big up Jono. Gerard, interim Alonso in the summer. He needs a break after the Madrid experience. If Carrick can manage United for 5 months, Stevie can do the same at Liverpool. Rather than run through them all now, boys. Slot will go Spurs and link up with Heitinger and Edwards, and Hughes will go to Saudi. Al Hilal are keen. That's why they don't care anymore. Big check soon come. Wow. Liverpool have been stripped apart against, according to Roshi, Xabi would launch with 2 familiar players and balances such a way that aligns with our club. It'll take time, but not as much as some claim. Hugo Bell, big up. Only Enrique would give us that pressing football. We need the personnel. You know, Enrique is not a magician. He's not going to make Gakpo and Isak and Salah press into pressing monsters. It's just not going to happen. Enrique is the manager, and the pressing philosophy. Yes, you can have your philosophy, but the players and the personnel need to match that philosophy. Yeah. And you know, Kvaratskhelia and Dembele, they are unbelievably intense.
You have to remember as well. I would say this with the Bundesliga as well. You know, you saw Bayern are absolutely flying in the Bundesliga, destroying everybody. Diaz having the season of his life, and the manager is Vinny, who, you know, was Burnley manager in the Premier League last season and got his arse handed to him week in, week out. You know, that's the standard. And then you look at Enrique, he's in the French league, which is, with all due respect, the Farmers League, and he's got a level of player that is just like, I don't know when anyone saw Dembele's goal the other day. You know, he's literally taking the piss out of players on the edge of the box and chipping the keeper from 20 yards. You know, the Premier League is a different beast altogether. So I think if we were to bring in someone like Enrique, he would need to be given a lot of grace to be able to adapt to the intensity of how good this league is week in, week out. That's why, you know, I think whoever comes in, they need time to be able to adjust.
Let's keep it moving. Jono, comparing Xabi to the bum ex-United players, embarrassing. How many Bundesliga titles? Ole win unbeaten. He was managing Cardiff. Enrique not available.
I think this is for me, Asim. No, okay. I never said I wasn't for comparing Xabi Alonso to Ole. I just said Ole came in and gave Manchester United a lift when he came in that 6-month period, and he got them. I think he got them Champions League football. So that's what I was trying to say. So Alonso comes in, he gives us that lift to take us to what Ole did in that season, take us to Champions League football, which is that's what I was talking about. Not Ole fucking won anything. He didn't do fuck all. I was so glad he was United's manager. Next one. Time for the change. Taxi, please. Salia losing our club identity with this shite football. We look more like puppies than shades. Lions. Great show, brothers. Yeah, thank you very much, Sanj, for your super chat. I really appreciate it, mate. Yeah, man. But you know what?
Great word, Sanj.
Yeah, it is time for change. I think we all know that. And I think everybody knows this football shit. Even though today it was decent. It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? He's got more shit today, Ben.
Oh, Van Gerwen. Is he a Van Gerwen?
Must be.
The starts player gone, yeah. Sorry, carry on.
I just said it's crazy that the game he actually did a bit okay. We played okay, and is the day he's getting the most shit because it's Burnley. Yeah, and that's what it is.
That's the worry in general, is that people have gone now. People have made the decision, and people have gone too far. You know, he's gonna have to win 4, 5, 6 games by comfortable scorelines for people to start to change back again. But I just think everyone just wants a fresh start. Everyone just wants a clean, and they feel as though it's you're delaying the inevitable at this moment in time. I haven't seen this amount of discourse within the fan base since probably Rodgers, to be honest, and then previous to that, Hodgson. So I think there is a collective sort of clamour for us to have a change. But as I say it with a massively heavy heart, because I've got nothing against the guy. I thought he conducted himself with grace and purpose in the summer with the Jota situation. He played a massive part in the title last year. That's why I find it so difficult to, basically say he's done, he's not for us sort of thing. It's really hard because you just don't want to do that, because Liverpool fans do back their manager and back their players to the hilt. But I just feel as though we're at the stage now where, we need to draw a line under this and start the next chapter.
Yeah, 100%. But on a separate point, we're all calling for and we're talking about Klopp, and the thing is, this day and age where the sporting director, about 10-15 years ago, if you ask me Liverpool sporting director, he's forgot. He forgot the cameras.
I put that comment up, yeah. I took my camera off.
I'm gonna clip that. Honestly. The way he looked at the camera.
That just tells you how stressed I am. I never make this mistake, yeah.
You can smoke on live on TV, man. It's fine. It's fine.
Honestly.
Oh, his face.
Okay, Cheen, you've had a day of hell, Cheen. So you know what? You're allowed a little puff man. At the end of the day.
Honestly.
Yeah. Might need something stronger though. The thing is, 10-15 years ago, if you ask me, Liverpool sporting director, Manchester City's, Man United's, Arsenal's, nobody could tell them. Nobody could give you those names. But now there's a dynamic at clubs where the thing is, when you've got such a model, they want yes men. And the problem is, we talk about Klopp. There is a real danger in football. These sort of charismatic managers are just like gone. Because the moment you get someone like that, the club, you have to listen to him. And that is the exact reason why Michael Edwards had to leave. Because he thought he can't do his job. Because Klopp overruled him in many, many decisions. And the more success you have, and it might have happened if Slot, we all think he's not gonna last that long. But if he does, the more trophies you win, you build a lot more clout and credibility.
Yeah. To the point where Klopp was essentially, deciding, what time the dinner ladies started by the time he left.
100%. So there's a real danger, and when everyone's talking about Xabi Alonso, thing is, those talks need to take place.
Yeah.
And
go through the super chats, Asim.
Okay. Eddie Cox Wilkins. He says, do you think the manager gets a sack? Yes. I think so. Ben?
Yes.
Okay.
We haven't said when.
Next one, Lethan. Big up. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. Xabi with Stevie assistant. That's the hunger side. I think that's what a lot of people would like. Me personally, I'm more with Xabi and Thiago Alcantara, but I'd take him and Stevie all day long. If I had a choice, that is. S. Jot, thank you very much for your super chat. When we concede, it's like we are playing last goal wins at school. and just know it's all over. When we conceded, bhul jao, sare karna seekh jao, fir faida nahi. Koi faida nahi. Basically, everyone runs at home, then there's no point. Look, I get the super chat, mate. And look, it is what it is, man. Honestly, like I'm at that stage now where it's time to move on. But guys, there's 850 of you in here. If you haven't, there's quite a few new faces, new people that I've seen in the chat as well. So guys, make sure you like the stream, and make sure you have to subscribe to the channel. Loads of content coming your way. We are on our way to 20k. So please, guys, make sure you smash that like button. One more super chat, Ben, before we move on. Is Vida Divikas. Thank you very much for your super chat. We have the best head coach in the world. Okay. We just now need a manager who will manage slot, players, and the club. A new vacancy between director of football and head coach. Big up, guys. Thanks for the therapy. This guy's fucking chatting shit. Taking the piss.
I'll tell you what, I wish it was on the beach he was on, that's for sure. Yeah.
I think he's had a few books of mine.
But he was on. Yeah, he has, yeah. I'm just looking at the subscribers there, 17.9k. We're less than 100 away from 18k. It's took a long time to get to that point. So
what a drag, guys.
let's.
So come on,
what's
guys.
called-
For those of you who haven't subscribed, I'm
get us
sure there's
over.
875 of you in here, guys. There's going to be at least 30% that are not subscribers. So please, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Like Ben's mentioned, we are on our way to 20k. It's been a bit of a drag, so smash that subscribe button. And yeah, it goes a long way in terms of the algorithms, the support, and it means a lot, the world to us. Asim, what's next?
Someone's. Did you delete that last one?
Yeah, I've done it.
But Stevie, what did you think of it? 18k we're getting Asim Bomber. I didn't put that up. What I will say, Ben, is on the way out. You know, when I message you on WhatsApp, I can't meet you. On the way out, my friend who's at the club, mentioning no names, we had a bit of a chat on the way out, and I said, "Look, it's got to be the ending." And he said, "Ask him. There's a reason why he hasn't got a new contract." So if people are inside the club saying this, then the writing's on the wall for me. So if you wanna treat that, or if you wanna take that as a bomber, then it's entirely up to yourself.
Yeah, but that can mean fucking instead at the end of the season, they're not going to get a contract with
Bomber guy. Within the club are saying this.
Yeah, true. I suppose from the club, they're already going to let that out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh
another super boys.
My little just.
Yeah.
Take the chat.
I'll take the super.
I'll write this one. So Madrid is the only game we've been good. Worried again from Glenn. Thank you very much, Glenn. Yeah, we haven't had many good performances this season, that's for sure. And this one from Jono, again, thank you very much for the super chat. I don't usually care about a manager having a connection with LFC, but after seeing how fans have responded, here he is.
GF is there.
We've got a new content creator who sneaked in.
Go on, Kian, we're not
Junior
happy today,
Asim in.
Back to bed.
What a legend. I don't usually care about a manager having a connection with LFC, but after seeing how fans have responded to Slot's coldness, not well, I think it matters.
It does matter, man. We have to have a connection. You're the manager, because we're an emotional football club that you can't take that away from us. And even if you try, this is what happens. You don't last long. And it's weird, isn't it? Like, Ben, I don't want to sound this in a crazy way. And I don't want to sound like, end of the day. We would adore a title-winning manager.
Yeah.
Dude, we don't. I'm not. I don't adore
what's wrong? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at? I don't think, and this is but that's him. He should have tried to, engage more with the fans and sing. And we would have maybe given him time and said, you know what, maybe not giving him a shit as much and said, you know what, TK, look, sorry, maybe it's time for you to go, but in a respectable manner. I don't want to be giving him shit. End of the day, the guy delivered a title. Probably gave me one of the best days of my life in terms of that Spurs game last year, right? And
in a totally. I know this might be a bit deep, but in a totally cynical way, do you think there's an element of the hierarchy getting a coach that wouldn't necessarily have a natural connection with the fan base because deep down they don't really want the manager to become that bigger deal? Yeah, they don't really want another Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, so they want someone who essentially is going to keep in his lane and stay in his box and not build that rapport with the fans, do his job, be a great coach the team with the players that they give him, and back, and that's the end of it. But as you say, Liverpool's DNA is very different to a lot of clubs from that perspective. In that we do have an unbelievable connection to our managers, and I think that's something that has been definitely, not been considered at all. And the chat was that Alonso was our number one choice, and obviously there would be a connection there with Alonso without a shadow of a doubt, especially by the fact that he used to play for us and he's a great manager, but what he's done at Leverkusen. But yeah, I think the reality is that as each day passes by, it feels as though Slot has been a bit of a stopgap as much as the next long-term plan. But, he delivered the title last season, which is like probably more than anyone's wildest expectations. But there we go. Got a couple more, another super chat from Ash. Disappointed I didn't see fan cam of Asim and Ben outside Anfield and Ben wide-eyed looking into the camera shouting, "It's time to go." What's called? I'm sure the guys, the tech guys, will throw up my my reaction when when they get a chance to, just so everyone knows that this is not like a after the moment hindsight. The initial reaction outside the ground, in my car, freezing cold, was enough is enough.
This is Stevie on Asim. What do you make of Stevie's comments? Put pressure? Stevie did an interview.
I didn't see the interview. I saw the quotes.
Yeah, it was just an interview. Well. Yeah, I saw there was an interview, and he mentioned, they asked him about Liverpool's performances and said, "Look, it's disappointing and it's not good enough, basically."
He said they used the word unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
That was the thing.
That's what would you two take Stevie right now? If I said to you, Stevie, right now, until the summer, Alonso says yes to Liverpool, but wants a 3-month break, would you take Stevie right now?
I'd do it.
I was completely and utterly against Gerrard coming in as interim manager a few months ago, for two reasons. One, because I don't want us to turn into jobs for the boys, bring back the old guard like United, because you've seen it happen with Ollie and Rude and a few others. And two, because if I'm being truly honest, I don't know whether Stevie's at the caliber of what we need as a manager, because of his performance at Villa was just well short. He did well at Rangers, but that's a different level and it's a different situation. In the Premier League, he massively underperformed, and it showed the quality of a real manager when Emery come in and turned them from 14th to Champions League challengers or Champions League participants. However, I think at this moment in time, if we can't get the manager that we really want, then ironically, the energy and the enthusiasm and the passion and the directness of Gerrard might actually be exactly what we need at the moment. So I think there's a definite possibility that it could happen. It's just whether or not it would work in terms of the dynamic with Hughes and what's called. Because the problem is, if Gerrard comes in and does great, gets us into the Champions League, all of a sudden, then you say, right, give him the job. I don't know whether or not he's at the caliber to be able to take us to a league title against the Pep Guardiola or an Arteta. That would be my concern. So it's a really difficult decision.
Yeah,
but there aren't that many options.
I agree with you.
What do you think, Asim?
I'm like you. I've still got my doubts about the caliber of coaching, of the caliber of coach Stevie is. But I think we all need a lift. We all need a lift. After going to Anfield today and seeing that crowd, he's lost Anfield. And once you lose Anfield, the battle is lost. The battle is lost.
Yeah. And you could mitigate that coaching issue by bringing in an elite coach, couldn't you?
Gary McAllister.
Somebody of a high caliber. I don't know who, sort of thing, but you could bring in a really top coach, couldn't you? To work alongside them, like the way I'm not even going to sort of praise United, but they have, at least with bringing in Carrick, they've brought in Steve Holland, who is a really good, solid, renowned coach. So I think that's some sort of a correct decision, and I think that if it was to be Gerrard in an interim, it would have to be alongside someone with really real experience. But I don't know exactly who that would be.
He used to have a lad at Rangers. I forgot what his name is now. And he talks about him being a really good coach. I can't remember who. He got a job, but got the sack.
The one who went to Blackpool.
I think so.
Yeah. I can't remember. The chat will tell us, but yeah.
He was with him. Michael Beale, that's the one.
Michael Beale, that's it, yeah.
Michael Beale. I don't know where he is at the moment, but Stevie does talk when he talks about his career and his coaching career. He talks about Michael Beale teaching him a lot of things and stuff like that. But I've not followed his career myself. We have a new member, Lethan. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And we're really embarrassed that we can't provide content for the members. But there's a few things going on in the background. might take a bit of time, but we're working on it, and hopefully you guys see the fruits of it as well very, very soon. A member, Greg Gorilla, member for 6 months. Thank you so much. He says, or she says, if Alonso comes in the summer, how will he get to pre-season? The World Cup will be on. They need to replace the manager now. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and maybe that's the reason why it's imperative to get Mr. Alonso in very, very soon. What now, guys? Before we wrap up, we've seen the fixture list. Super chat, Vida De Vickers, thank you so much for sending this through. He says it's fascinating how 6 months can change so much. We were in love with Gakpo and Slot. I was never in love with Gakpo. Sorry, I might have been in love with Slot because he was doing good things. Mind you, Gakpo was doing good things as well, but I always had my doubts about the level and the ceiling of the player. And Slot in the summer. Liverpool needs a manager with personal touch. We are all humans, and we are an emotional club.
Yeah. And to be fair to Slot, everyone says that Gakpo's his son, but when he had the option to play Diaz, he very much rotated them, and Diaz was first choice in a lot of games. So it wasn't a case of, it's Gakpo or nothing. I actually think Gakpo had a really good season last season in general, and he did get the goals and assists. And when he goes on a run, he's normally really, really difficult player to deal with, and he can produce. But the problem is there's been no real option this season. The alternative has been a 17-year-old kid, which we all know that he doesn't have any faith in. So he's been forced to play him, and he's played him in periods when he's, absolute waste of space. And that's done nobody any favors. But I was just going to say about you said what happens next, which it's Bournemouth on Saturday, isn't it? Away. And then it's Newcastle.
Marseille away first.
Yeah, sorry, in the Prem, no, it'll be Bournemouth away, and then it'll be Newcastle at Anfield the week after. We're 1 point ahead of Manchester United and Chelsea at the moment. So as bad as it feels, or as precarious as it feels at the moment, we are still technically in the driving seat. So I almost feel as though if they are going to push the button and do something, it's going to be in the next week or so. I think Lewis Steele or one of the journos mentioned something before on Twitter that I was really interested in, that they said as soon as there's question marks around the balance sheet and the bottom line, i.e. is there a genuine doubt that we might not get top 5 next season, all of a sudden lots of questions get asked. And I think that we might well be drifting into that situation at the moment. We shall see. My word, Wednesday's going to be fun, isn't it? Flipping Nora. You pay what you all best be reserving the date on Wednesday. We have got a show and a half planned for you on Wednesday with the with what's
called me, Ben, Cheen, and the Chip on a watch along on Wednesday against Marseille. It could be lively. It will be lively.
It will be.
It best be lively.
It will be lively. Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, that's the wrap. Bit of therapy for you. We all need it. And this is the reason why I think we always should, win or lose, actually, we should come and do shows on the day of the match, because especially when we lose, man, because we need therapy, man. We need to let it out, and it makes us feel a lot better, even though the situation is dire. Apparently we missed another super chat, Gene, according to
Asim, you missed all of them.
You took over it, so it was your job. Yeah. Benjamin looks like he's sat on the toilet there, but no, it's not sat there. He's having a piss. Probably in L6, just like me. Surely Slot goes in the summer, if not now. I think he's won us the league. For many of us, he gave us that day against Tottenham when we lifted that cup. One of the greatest days that we have experienced over the last 8 to 10 years. But I think it's time to shake hands.
Yeah. Guys, quick question for both of you. Alonso this week or whoever you want in the summer?
Wow, what a question. Whoa. So it's basically Luis Enrique, isn't it?
Or whoever you want, because I know Gene's actually would want Xabi, wouldn't he? Xabi.
Yeah,
wasn't
that was yeah, because he was available. Do you understand?
Would you take Xavi over Luis Enrique, Cheen?
No.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I thought that was your favorite choice. Yeah.
No, it was
whoever you want.
now because he's available. It was one of the. He was available, and I really rate him, and I think he do a really an unbelievable. But come on, man, Luis Enrique number one. You just can't. You have to accept it, Asim.
So you would endure Slot for the rest of the season and
that deserves a poll. That deserves a poll, man. Don't you think?
I can't.
Come on, lean in, Cheen. The Cheen lean.
It actually does, to be fair. That does deserve a poll.
That's it. That's the punchline for a poll. The Cheen lean. So he leans in.
The Cheen lean.
Maybe I need to log in.
We'll close out the night with that one.
All right.
I can't even take credit for that. One of my
I
friends,
put up a poll earlier. Is Arne Slot's time done at Liverpool? Yeah, 91% said yes.
Was the 9% pissed?
I'm
surprised he got 91.
Right, what's the poll?
Slot
Alonso this week.
Yeah,
Alonso this week, or whoever you want in the summer. And put whoever you want because people will have different choices.
But the thing is, Alonso this week.
Alonso tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Tonight, tomorrow, whatever.
Gene, don't mislead.
You've got a load of fans, man.
Gene, don't mislead.
You choose Alonso this week or whoever you want. So yeah, it was just that day, man. It was I blame Arne Slot for that day, man.
Okay, is it? Have you started it? There's still 800 people here.
Wow, it's well underway. 100 votes already. I'll tell you the what's called. I'll tell you the midway point. We'll have a little think while everyone's voting. While everyone's voting,
Alex Cook Bomber, what's he said? That's what J Jot. You don't lie, man. You're a good lad.
Alex Cook, he's the United fan, isn't he? Who just dropped in. Glasner's situation is unlikely to end well. I'm told Crystal Palace hierarchy were not aware he was planning to announce his exit during Friday's press conference.
Guys, you're gonna be shocked, man.
Why is that a big deal for us?
I know, I don't give a shit about Glasner. That son of a gun, yeah. I don't even care about Glasner, man. Some of you talking to me about Glasner. I thought Liverpool na bomber this.
Right, okay, come on, give me your what you would both choose. Should we wait?
I would go for
mute Asim.
I have to get rid because
I'd
go. Look, I think I have to go for the change right now. I don't think I can't watch this for another fucking week, let alone 4 months.
I would go. Would you?
But I'm one of Enrique's biggest fans, and I want him. And I just think sometimes you got to think of long term.
I would go for Enrique in the summer.
So Bomber, Asim is slot in. Dear me. Yeah,
right, 184 votes in, 69% Alonso this week.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
Whoever you
I'm
want,
not surprised.
70-30.
I'm not surprised.
That just tells you.
I would risk it.
That just tells you how much we want him gone.
I know, yeah, 100%. 100%.
That we're not willing to give him 4 months because we want for even our number one target. That's
one
crazy,
guy, Wandering Seeker says, Asim, you want Enrique, but we don't have the players to play Enrique ball. What ball can we play right now? Do we have the players for anything right now? Any
but we
manager.
got Florian Wirtz 10 it up. Alonso's played with Frimpong and Wirtz, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but what would you think he's going to come and play 3 at the back?
With
3 at the back.
with 2 defenders.
Yeah, exactly. I would take.
Come on, guys.
Look, I've always wanted Enrique over Alonso, so that's why.
Jacket going to our jackets going to Chelsea, eh? Jeremy Jacket.
Jacquet. The other reason I want Alonso is for Florian Wirtz. Like, we think he's starting to come to into his own now. Imagine what he would be like with Alonso again. You know, he would absolutely extract the absolute best out of him, along with having a lot of other really good players around him as well. I'd love Alonso. I really would. He's the one for me. And I think it's really interesting that he's been sacked in the last couple of weeks, because I just wonder whether or not it changes the goalposts. But yeah, it's what's called. It's really interesting to see what happens. And you know what? The other big, really interesting one is what happens with Mohamed Salah when he walks back through the door in the next week, because that's another dilemma. You know, because he's got to reintegrate him into the team. He's got to start using him. He can't just start using him off the bench all the time. He's got to start playing him. So that'll be interesting to see how that one evolves as well.
Man, how many likes are we on? We
are on, my friend, 335 likes.
Come on, people. There's 732 of you here. Can we get to 400 likes before we end the stream? Come on.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? You'd like to think so. Finish with a couple of questions, guys.
Yeah, to finish a shit day off, let's take some questions from the chat. And in the meantime, get those likes up to 400. Super chat, let's go.
Absolutely. The chat's cheeky, aren't they? You keep dropping little bombers in there, don't you?
Asim, did the kid fall back to sleep? I've heard a few knocks on the door, some bangs, thuds on the door, so he's trying to get in, but he's not asleep. He's not asleep.
You know, if you want a fucking manager that gets the crowd going, Diego Simeone is definitely one of them. More, imagine him in our fucking. You know, if he played a bit more expansive football, he's the perfect guy. If he went for it, he's the perfect guy.
I don't know what Ash is on tonight. But he's talking about Roy Hodgson. He's watching Premier League years.
When does he get the sack, boys?
I'm going to say the next.
Let me look at the fixtures.
Marseille, Bournemouth away. Yeah. Marseille away, Bournemouth away. Yeah. Newcastle home, Man City home. I think.
Who's after Man City?
You're gonna give him fucking 5 games. You think he's gonna survive 5 games?
No, keep on going.
Oh no, I can't remember. I'm going up, man. They're the ones 4 that I know. I think there's Karabag in there as well.
If he keeps getting results, he won't go nowhere.
I think it's Chutti after Bournemouth.
If he loses against Bournemouth, Chutti.
I think he's. I honestly can't see us beating Marseille. And I think if we lose against Bournemouth, it's Chutti, man. I think his time's up.
I think
after the Bulls yesterday, you lose 2 in a row. I think it's Chutti. No?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. If he loses against Bournemouth, I think I'm with you.
But they need to have someone, don't they? You know, so they need to be. You know, they could speak to Gerrard and say, "Get ready," because it could happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But then, likewise, if they're talking to Alonso and they're like, he needs a few weeks to sort himself out, it might be a case of like, let me analyze the situation and we'll sign in the summer. But I would like to think that Alonso would want to come sooner, because, as I say, he's going to have such a compressed summer. He's not going to be able to work with the players because they're all going to be at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, another super chat, Cheen. Rashid BM, he asks, do you guys think Alonso wants the job? Come on.
Bro,
He ain't
he
saying
jumps
no.
on the job. He jumps on the job.
He ain't saying no. He isn't saying no. How many likes are we on, Ben?
Right.
We are now 352.
They haven't moved, man. They haven't moved. Okay, should we call it a day? But as long as people can guarantee us, they'll smash a like on the way out, because that's what most people do anyway. Okay, people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We leave it there. 1 hour 30 of emotion, anger, passion, everything. But it's the state of our team right now. We love the team. We love the players. Actually, we love the players. We don't love the team. Good night. We'll catch you tomorrow. I think Avi's back tomorrow in the house. Then the previews will start on Mondays. If I can do a tactic show, if I'm in the studio, we are going to make a push. We're doing more shows in the studio as well, because at the moment it's just the watch-alongs, and that's about it. So we are going to make an effort to do that as well. But the previews for the Marseille game will start Monday and Tuesday, and then the watch-along with me, Ben, Cheen, and Avi in the house as well. The Zamba's in the house. He just says Asim. Kai is a United fan.
Hey, whatever. The Zampa lost the plot. Klopp or Enrique in the summer? Enrique.
Oh, Enrique.
Klopp's not coming back to Liverpool while Edwards is the director of football, I'm afraid.
What did the poll end at?
Which one? Oh, yeah.
Good question.
Miss Super, what are you doing, Cheen?
What do you mean? I put him up. That was the one.
Maxi Rodriguez. Oh, was that the one? Yeah. Okay.
74% Alonso this week, Asim.
Wow. And then anything goes June Carrick. Okay, people. Alonso in by Monday morning. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
See you there, guys.